Hello and welcome to another week of the Terry McGriff Show. Man, I'm just happy to be here this week along with my illustrious co-host, Andre L. Sullivan, sitting in those beautiful iHeart studios. Andre, how you doing today, my friend?
Man, I'm hot. Turn the AC on. Put it on blast. It's hot. I'm in my feelings because it's hot. It's just hot. But I'm good, man. I'm above ground, so I can't complain too much.
They don't have this. They don't have the AC on in the studio today. What's up?
They got it on in here, but I gotta leave. Eventually,
talking about going outside. Okay.
Yeah, man.
I love this Florida weather, though. I'd rather for it to be hot than cold. My goodness.
I mean, I do too. It's just this the kind of heat that make you slap your family members.
Hey, this is that time of year. This is springtime going into summer. You know, all the high schools here in Florida are doing spring practices, getting ready for this spring jamboree game. So, you know, it's getting ready to be them dog hot days of summer coming up. So, you know, we just got to get used to it and put on our Florida boy clothes and and just deal with it. You know, you stay inside where you can, but other than that, you know, you go ahead and get everything right and get yourself together, stay hydrated, and hey, we just deal with it. I love the heat. That's better than the winter. I can't stand the winter, but it is what it is. I feel you though. I feel you. Just stay cool. Stay in there with the AC at.
Okay.
You know what that also is a sign is we getting a little older. Unfortunately, I hate to break that news to you. You know, when the weather start get issued with us, you know, that tells us about our age a little bit. But man, we got a really exciting show. Just, you know, going back through, you know, some of the things that we saw over the last few weeks with the draft, free agency, all that. We got some great topics. But before we get into that, I want to just tell everybody, thank everybody to our sponsors of Watch Game Film, She Car, and Team Sportswear Direct. I also like to mention our league, Women's Tackle Football League, and also the DEMP Project along with Laces Out Foundation. Man, let me tell you, one other thing I want to say, because I almost lost my train of thought. Thank you, fans. Hey, if you like what we're doing here, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. And just let us know what we're doing. We're always open to topics. Anything you got an idea you think you want us to talk about, we'll gladly talk about it for you if it makes sense. But yeah, man, we got a great show. We're going to talk about some most post-draft stuff. One of the things I was sitting there thinking about is, you know, who would my top five rookies be that I think going to make the biggest splash this upcoming season? And one of the good things is that they're going to get to have a full offseason. I know the Jaguars are doing their rookie minicamp this week, as well as a lot of other NFL teams. In the next 3-4 weeks, there'll be rookie minicamps. So we didn't have that last year. Thank you, COVID. But we'll have that this year, and you guys. We need to get done and do the things we need to do far as getting those guys prepared for the 2021 season. I'm going to just give you my top five there. Also, I want to have some reactions to the new, what they were talking about, the New Jersey things that were going on. We had New Jersey rule where you can have different numbers. Now we're going to get into that. And we're also going to discuss the Jaguars veterans that we expect to see cut during training camp. We heard about the news about a person we'll talk about a little bit later. And that just made the roster a little bit more crowded going here in Duval. So we're going to talk about that. So, but while we do that, I want you to jump into that first, if I may. Now, tell me who would be your five rookies that you think will make the biggest splash, and then I'll give you mine.
I mean, the low-hanging fruit here is obviously for us is Mr. Lawrence here in Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, obviously, no one's going to come out and say it right now, but he's most likely going to be the day one starter here in Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gardner Minshew is still a very much viable quarterback, but at the end of the day, yeah, you don't get picked number one overall to ride the bench.
No, he
And,
doesn't.
and that's not a knock on Gardner Minshew by no means a stretch of the imagination. But what that is saying is that the Jaguars got their guy. He's been their guy for some time, so they're going to use their guy. You know what I mean? So I can't get mad. The second one, I have to go up to Cincinnati and Jamar Chase. Listen, we kept saying all last year, get this man some help. And he sat in that boardroom in those meetings when they were doing their recruiting, and he got his homeboy in Jamar Chase in a Bengals uniform, so you can't be mad at him. And Jamar Chase is one of the best receivers. I won't say the best, and he's not the best in my personal opinion, but he's one of the best receivers coming out of the draft this year. And so he has a quarterback who he's used to, and now he gets to show his talent on a whole new level. And I'll go ahead and stay right there at the receiver position and say Jalen Waddle down in Miami. Listen, if he doesn't get the X position for a receiver, he's going to get the Z. And even if he doesn't get the Z, he'll get the Y. And even if he doesn't get the Y, he'll be a kick returner because that's how dynamic this kid is. And for some reason, he was slept on. I don't know why. You know, that's beyond me. I don't sit in these recruiting meetings. But, you know, he will make a direct impact, and you will see him early. Of course, guess what? I'm going to stay in the wide receiver again. In my personal opinion, the best wide receiver coming out of the draft this year, that's Mr. Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner out of Alabama. In Philadelphia, yeah, when the last time they've had an immediate deep threat in Philly? I'll wait. Yeah, I'll be waiting for a while because that is what Devontae Smith brings. Listen, don't get it twisted. He's the Heisman winner for a reason, people. In my personal opinion here, and yes, I'm singing his praises, but he's that guy. And even if he does one route all year, if they send him to go that one route all year, he's gonna score. He's gonna score, and keeping him out of the end zone would be the task of a lot of defensive coordinators this year. But I mean, hey, my pick, straight out of Chi-Town. Listen, we were so surprised when they made that call to grab Justin Fields. 31 other teams were surprised when that happened. Chicago Bears were not. Get it through your guys' head. This guy will be a problem in the NFC North because he has Allen Robinson and a bunch of other weapons to work with. He has all of the tools at QB to be a prolific NFL guy. And he has an offensive line that actually blocks for him. And now they have their guy in Chicago to make it happen. You know, I won't say how much of a run they're going because they still got to get past Green Bay and Minnesota. But at the end of the day, the question was who's going to make an impact? It's going to be Justin Fields. And so he's going to be that guy. And then last, but certainly not least, people, you know, I'm a big guy. I would be wrong not to mention somebody else as a big guy. Greg Rousseau going up to the Buffalo Bills. Listen, that was already a stat defense. Don't get it twisted. That was already a stat defense. But it'll be hard to keep him off the field. It will be hard to keep him off the field. Listen, even if they put his hand in the dirt, put him at a 5 technique, or have him stand up and be that outside linebacker, or still be that 5th guy on that end, they will find a way to put his cleats in dirt on this field. But that's my 5, man. You go, man.
That was pretty good. I think you was looking at my list before the beginning of the show or something, because you took a little bit of my thunder. But I got a few guys that were in my top 10 still that I'll mention. Well, first of all, the good news is you didn't take my number 1 player. My number 1 player, and I'm going to go number 1 to 5. Not necessarily. Okay. My number 1 player, I think, going to make an immediate impact the first day of minicamp is going to be Kadarius Toney.
Okay. I'm
He is
mad at
going
that.
to be everywhere. You're going to have him in the backfield. You're going to have him at slot. You're going to have him at outside. He can return just like Waddle. He can return kicks, punts. His stat line is going to be full. You ain't going to find no empty box anywhere on the stat sheet where his name ain't on there. He is going to be an immediate, and the person he's going to impact the most is going to be their running game, because you can do things with him as a running back that you can't do with the other. Even Lord, I forgot their great tailback. Lord, my God, forgive me, man, forgive me. Number 26, I just can't think his name right now. Yeah, you know who he was with the Giants. He had a knee injury, but I'll remember it before the end of this segment. Anyway.
Saquon Barkley.
Quan, I promise you, I'll never forget your name again, Quan, Mr. Barkley. So, but yeah, he's gonna make his job so much easier, because we're gonna do these jet motions, and you're gonna have to respect him on the jet, and he's gonna take the ball up the middle. He is going to make his job so much easier because of the things that you can do. He's not just the line him on an end receiver. He can do reverses, anything and everything. He's going to be my number one guy. The next guy I want to tell you about, who's going to make a big splash, and I spoke about him last week, is Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye from that end spot is going to wreak havoc in the unfortunately my doggone division, the AFC South. But with some guys that he going to get a lot of one-on-one as a rookie, because not a people going to give him the respect, and he probably going to end up with 8, maybe 9 sacks this year. So he going to make a big splash. I just want to go. I'm just trying to go back forth, offense, a little bit defense. My next person, with this caveat, if they got a semblance of an offensive line that they didn't have last year, Mr. Najee Harris is going to make an immediate splash, and he's going to be a big hit, because he's one of those guys. He's going to be on the ball. He's going to be on the field until he say, "Coach, he's going to have to do this first before they take him out." Because he can run the ball outside. He can run it inside. He can catch your screens. He can catch your passes out of the backfield. He can even block in the back. He can do pass protection, and he's a 235-pound beast. He could be everything, because he's 6'2", 230. So he could be a H-back, but he's got the speed of a tailback. So he's going to be the equivalent of what Saquon Barkley, but not just with the top end speed that Saquon Barkley. Not saying he's fast. He's plenty fast. He's just not Saquon Barkley fast. But I think he is going to be one of the other guys. The next guy I want to tell you about that I really think is going to make a big. Well, you already took Rousseau from me, so I'm going to leave that alone. The next guy I want to talk to you about, who I think, because he is also going to be the beneficiary of having a lot of other good veteran big name players with him, is going to be Zaven Collins. Because you're not going to be able to account for him, because you're too busy accounting for J.J. Watt and all the other studs that they got on that defense. That he's going to be able to go on one-on-one, especially on them linebacker blitzes, pass rushes. He is going to make an immediate impact on that defense. And he comes with the Thunder, so he's going to be one of the people that I see is going to make an immediate impact. Here, let me go with somebody else that I know, and this is going to be a bit of a homer. But I'm not going to, when I'm talking about my Jaguars, I'm not going to talk Trevor Lawrence. If he don't make an impact, something's wrong. But who I see making an impact is going to be Trevor Etienne, because Trevor Etienne is going to be the other guy that's going to be the utility, and he's getting the beneficiary of all the other young receivers that are out there that's made their name in the last 2 or 3 years with the Jaguars. So Etienne is coming in, and most people as the so-called backup, but he's not the backup running back. This is platoon thing. And then my rumors that I've heard, they're both going to have them both in the backfield. So you can imagine you don't know who's going to get the ball, and then when you flare them both out, which they both can catch, you're talking about doing double screens and stuff like that. And Etienne has that top end speed. I mean, when you get Etienne matched up on linebackers, you can just put check mark for a first down as long as he gets his hands on the ball. And he's not easy to bring down. He's one of the guys that I see they're going to have game plans just for him, along with a lot of those other specialty guys that they built in. Thanks to the old regime, did something, set him up pretty good spot. And the next guy I want to talk about, people really hasn't said much about him. He's kind of going big time under the radar, but he's going to probably end up being their number one receiver as a rookie. And I've seen him play plenty of times. Rashad Bateman. That's a big man with a big game for the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens been waiting for a number one wide receiver somebody who has it all, has all the tools, the size and the speed and the route running. And Bateman is going to be that guy. I don't think he'll get like 1,400 yards, but I expect he's going to get near 1,000 and probably about 7 or 8 touchdowns. But in that offense, that means a lot. Where they run the ball as much, he's going to keep it opened up, and you can't just say, well, they're going to just throw the ball to the tight ends now, or the speed wide receiver. He's going to be there. He's going to get those possessions, receptions at the wide receiver spot to move the chains, also make big plays because he's going to break a few tackles with that strength. And those are my guys that I see that's going to come in this year and make a big splash. I'm not talking rookie of the year because those stats are going to be to your number one tailback guys, your quarterbacks and stuff like that. Maybe a dynamic receiver that might have a breakout season. But these are guys I know they're going to make splashes this season.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, I really do. I think these guys, we were just talking about it, and I was thinking, yeah, these guys are gonna make some big time splashes, because they got things around them to make it easy for them. All right, let's jump into this topic. Here's one that we've been watching. Obviously, everybody's seen the NFL Network and the news out there about the new rule that the NFL came in, and I think a lot of it is to do with jersey sales, and I don't have a problem with it. And it's also, to me, I'll say they're kind of getting with the times and getting with the younger generation and the trending of things. They've made the new rule where they can allow skilled players to have different numbers now. Normally, it was like the teams, receivers, I think, could have any digit 10 through 21, and then the 80s, and defensive backs could 20 to 40 or something like that. But now what they did, they made the rules where that the receivers, the backs and the receivers now could have 1 through 49 and 80 through 89. Let me go back and see if I read the rule. The rule change was initially proposed by the Chiefs, would allow running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers to wear any number from 1 to 49, as well as 80 through 89. Defensive backs will also now be permitted to wear numbers 1 through 49, while linebackers can wear numbers 1 through 59 and 90 through 99. Now, can you imagine back then Ray Lewis, he would have been able to wear that number 1? How popular that would have been if he'd have wear that with the Ravens. So it's going to be a new world, new generation. And I actually think a lot of that's going to also have to do when it comes to free agency. Well, when they go there, can I get my old college number? I wore number 2 at defensive, at outside linebacker. Can I wear that? Of course you can now, sir. You can, whatever you want, you're going to sign on that dotted line. So I think it's pretty neat. I think it's interesting. We'll see how it works out. Everybody's definitely going to need their rosters now because you ain't going to know who's playing what with these numbers out there. So I want to hear your thoughts on it.
I hate it. I hate it. I mean, let me be completely honest. I've been talking with some friends and stuff about it, and some of my colleagues. I hate it. Oh my God, I hate it. But listen, and I hate it for 2 big reasons. One, so if you decide to change, and this is straight from the rule book, if you decide to change your number this year, like so many have already done, a la Leonard Fournette, going back to his original 7 that he's worn since he was 8 years old, you have to buy out the existing inventory of jersey distributors.
Oh, really? I did not hear that.
Yes. So Leonard Fournette just lost close to $800,000 in just the jerseys, to get the wear to number 7. Let that sit for y'all 1 second. You know what I could do with $800,000 right now? Like, yeah. And so, as a rookie,
it just sunk in. Yeah.
And then, as a rookie, you telling me this rookie gets to come in and possibly wear a number that I've been wanting to wear for the last 5 years, and now I can't because rookies
I have to buy that number out. Well, no. What if a rookie and a veteran wants that number?
Because rookies get first dibs at numbers this year because they gotta do their rookie symposium and take rookie pictures. Oh yeah, that one hurt it. That one hurt, didn't it? Let that one sink in, people. Let that one sink in.
Can you see my face?
Yeah, we on the same call. Yeah, let that one sink in. Let that one sink in. I told you, I'm not for it. Listen, it's a really cool idea. You know, it goes back to those Pop Warner days, middle school, high school, college. Oh my God, I get to wear number one, and I play DB, and I play linebacker. Yeah, that's what it costs.
There's a word I want to say on the air, but I can't say it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still thinking about why would any human being pay $800,000 to buy inventory that ain't gonna never get used by nobody, just to give away 800, just so you can wear a number? Boy, that's some financial literacy for you right there. Not.
I don't think people understand. Nike
that hurt my eyes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Think
Nike
about that
is
number.
Nike is the direct apparel licensing for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But
maybe he needs to donate them to Fanatics and they can sell them for him or something.
but people got to understand they also have a contract with Fanatics. They still have a working contract with Reebok, Adidas, all of these people that generate these uniforms and other things with numbers and names on them. So, yeah, 800,000 is probably on the low end because Leonard Fournette only wore that number for 1 year, so it wasn't circulated as much as, say, Rob Gronkowski, who wore 80-something and wore 47 in college, or somebody else who wore this number and something else. So, yeah, somebody right now, bank hurts. Somebody's getting cussed out by their wife over a number. And people got to understand, like, granted, it's not coming out of my pocketbook, but just the financial thing that as a person who's working 9 to 5, sit back at home. You mean to tell me these people done paid this much for this much? Ouch. Thank you for making me realize I'm broke again. I appreciate it. and so, yeah, like it. I'm not a fan. And then the way it is, I'm not prepared for how this is going to look. I like the professional look of having a set group of numbers for position groups in the NFL. It made you. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you felt down, and you doing all right. Yeah, but you felt down.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't hurting. I praise God. I'm okay. You know what I mean? I ain't begging nobody. I ain't in no soup lines, nothing like that. But you know what I could do with that? I mean, I'm thinking the investment opportunity's lost. You get what I'm saying? On something that could actually flip that money. And you flipping it on some fabric.
Yeah. Let that
you ain't gonna never see. Oh, well, that's what get me. Hey, at least send me them jerseys. You know what I mean? Maybe he can donate them to some needy countries or people, something like that. But you just
they go to them. Don't get me wrong. They get those uniforms.
Where you gonna stay them? Where you gonna store them?
Right now, listen. Right now, a bunch of people. Right now, well, not a bunch of people, but right now, Leonard Fournette probably got like 328 Buccaneer jerseys sitting in his storage. Just saying.
All different sizes. Man. He can't wear them all. And
thank you. That's what I want people to understand. Like, it's cool in theory. I get to see my favorite player and the number that they love. Who cares, man? Like, I'm not a fan of this, but again, I don't sit in the room where it happens. Hamilton reference, by the way. But it's just, yeah, I'm not, hey, kudos to y'all.
Well, financially, it might be a genius move to the NFL and all the apparel providers because they're getting paid off of that.
The NFL loves it. I'm overly sure.
They're saying cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I mean, okay.
Hey, get this. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading directly from an NFL source. Per NFL rule, if a player wants to change their number this season, he would have to buy out the existing inventory of jersey distributors. If he wants to give notice now to change his number next season, they would be under no requirement to buy out inventory.
Oh, so he can change it next season. Huh. Leonard, I don't know why you jumped the gun on that one. You might have you should have read the fine print, buddy.
Oh, I know why he jumped the gun on it. Because there are incoming rookies who get to pick numbers.
He wants number 7. But what happened to the days you just buy that guy's number from him? That usually costs maybe $5,000 or $10,000, a couple of dinners, something like that. Nothing major. It all depends on who it is and what person. But I think the most I've heard of a player buying a number for another player was like $100,000 one time, and
Don't get it twisted. Numbers are currently being bought. There's probably a number getting ready to be bought right now in Jacksonville, Florida. Please hold on that conversation. But that
I got a number. I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, listen, it is
currently,
what it is.
Yeah, that's right. Currently, somebody else has that person's number. Oh, yes, they do. Yeah,
I drink water to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna jump. If we're done with that, we're gonna jump right into that because that leads where we're going. Because I don't know if it was me, if I was that number, I wouldn't be so quick to buy that one because I don't know. You got to make the team first. We know about Mr. Tebow supposedly be imminent signing here in the next couple of days here in Jacksonville, Florida, to be a tight end with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, do we know, is this a publicity stunt? Partially, yes, but it also has to do with the relationship Urban Meyer has with Tim Tebow. But I'm leaning more of the publicity stunt because you got a young man who never played the position before and all of a sudden playing a position that he has never played in high school or college. And you're going to ask him to go up against the big boys and guys that are younger than him and definitely stronger than him at that position to go and play a new position, I'm sure he knows routes because he played quarterback, but still learning to run those routes, learning those blocking schemes, those techniques, how to get blocking, especially when you're trying to set the edge on an outside run. You got to have proper footwork. You can't just try to think you're going to walk over there and the guy's going to let you around him. So, this goes into our little conversation of, what veterans, Jaguar veterans, that we expect not to make it to be cut during training camp. There's quite a few guys that are not going to be here come September that are currently on this roster based on the new things that have come with free agency and with the draft. There's some guys, nothing big that I would say that, that we could jump into. But there are some guys that have played some significant minutes for this team that I don't expect to be here. And I think they'll get jobs, but I think they'll be the same type of role wherever they'll go. I'll just go with number 1. First of all, let's Quincy Williams. Quincy Williams has been a on-again, off-again linebacker. He came on with a splash in his rookie season. And ever since then, he's had some issues in the locker room, not necessarily discipline issues, but they say learning the defense issues, also injury bug issues, and he's a really athletic, fast guy, but he hasn't been an outstanding or special teams player. So if he makes this team, he's going to have to show out on special teams because I really don't see a spot for him in this 3-4 scheme. Where he's going to, because out of these 3-4 outside linebackers are going to be your bigger guys, a la Josh Wilson. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So you're going to need these guys, and they're going to need. I don't know if he's got a spot. Another one, I'm going to just. I don't wish anybody losing their job, but I'm almost pretty much go ahead and have him. He should probably be having a real estate agent go ahead and find him a new home or apartment right now. Andrew Wingard, I just don't see him making the squad. Yeah, I know he's been a special teams ace, but as with all the new defensive backs and safeties that they brought in, I just don't see him making the squad. One that I think depends on how he does. I don't see him as a 3-4 inside linebacker fit. Probably one of the bigger names is Joe Schobert. I wasn't overly impressed with what he did last season, matter of fact, but I think, his salary being so much, I think you got some younger guys who can probably take that spot, and depending on how well they do, I think he's going to have a hard time beating out somebody like Shaq Quarterman because Shaq Quarterman's more of a natural fit in that 3-4 inside linebacker spot. Another guy I look at is Will Richardson. He came in with, some fanfare, had some injury situations with his rookie in his second year, and he just never been able to break into that starting lineup. And with some of these younger guys that the Jaguars have brought in the last couple of years, I don't see them paying a guy who's a journeyman at best that higher end money when they can pay those younger guys, those rookies and people on their first and second year of their deals the same money, less money to do the same job. So he's one of the guys I got on the line. One guy I kind of like, but I just don't see a fit for him because of the lack of numbers they're going to be, because I think the Jaguars are probably going to keep 6 wide receivers instead of 5 this year. It's going to be Devine Ezigbo. He's a pretty good back. He was out in Nebraska. I don't see him making the team. Another guy who's seemed like been a journeyman that I just don't see making it, but I mean he could. But I see him as a bubble guard/tackle, Casey McDermott. He played for the U. Another guy in that same mold is Quincy Williams that's had some starts, but just don't seem like there's just a role for him. I've actually seen him do pretty good on linebacker blitzes, but I just don't see him as the inside linebacker spot. And I definitely don't project him as an outside linebacker in a 3-4 is Leon Jacobs. I just, I think he'll find a role somewhere in the NFL. I just don't know if it'll be here. One guy I think the Jaguars made a mistake on, and I think some of them younger guys that are currently on the roster will probably beat him out, and maybe even Devine Ezigbo, because that will probably be the guy that most fits his type, is Carlos Hyde. They brought him in to be your power back, but between the other two guys, where is his role going to be? And with that money that he's going to cost them, being such a veteran on the higher end of the pay scale, it's going to be hard to keep him. And then he's not a guy that you paid a whole lot of money to anyway. Another kind of a well-established Jaguar here has been Trey Herndon. He played pretty well, but with bringing in all these other cornerbacks, I see him as a bubble player. He could make it, but I just think because of his salary that they might figure out a way if there's somebody that's really can be cheaper, will they keep him? And the one thing about I don't think Trey will be worried about, because I think Trey will have a job within 24 hours if he did get cut somewhere. Because he's a decent defensive back. I don't think he's really good enough if the upgrade is what I think it's going to be. The other one is a young receiver that I just don't see is going to make it, and I love him because he's a Gator. I just don't see Josh Hammond making it because of just the numbers. They're going to probably keep 6, but where do you play? He's going to have an awesome mini camp. This whole summer, he's going to have to be like one of the best route runners in camp and drop nothing. I mean, even if it ain't even in his reach, he just ain't going to be able to put nothing on the ground. And last but not least, a guy, because of his salary, I just don't know if his injury history will help him and give him a chance with the way the competition is going to be, is Mr. Philip Dorsett. They brought him in there to bring speed in there, but they got other veterans that can do the job, and he's a guy that could be hello and bye. And those are my guys that I put in as guys that I think veterans that I don't think that might make the roster.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna be honest. The first person on my list, I should say, was a person I don't even understand why we drafted him. Maybe it's my hate. Maybe it's my hate for just his university. Maybe it's just I don't like him. I've done a couple of interviews with him. I'd rather talk to a wall personally. But Taven Bryan, yeah, I just, why are you here? If he gets cut tomorrow, I wish him the best.
Yeah, you're not gonna be surprised.
I will be happy, actually. No offense to him. You mentioned him earlier, Carlos Hyde. And it's a couple of reasons why. Not because of, I think they actually will keep him.
Really?
But yeah, you don't bring somebody back in and then just release them unless there's some drastic circumstances. But yeah, I put him on the list as well as Nathan Cottrell. A lot of people don't know who that is, but he's like the 5th or 6th running back on the list. And name the last time you saw Nathan Cottrell on the field. You can't. Because, no. But with that being said, it's also Raquel Armstead in that mix as well, because he's been a viable backup, but there's something there why he's never gotten to starting role, and then they had to go get James Robinson on top of that. So it's just interesting. Where has he been?
I think he had the COVID issues mostly all last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but even before then, you know what I mean? Like, there's something I don't know what's happening there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, another name, Josh Jones at safety. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. Buddy's been getting burnt a couple here last few seasons over top, and they went and drafted a safety to take your spot, bro. So I mean, I don't know how long you last here. You brought up Trey Herndon. I think they keep Trey Herndon and cut this guy named Brandon Rusnark. Yeah, that.
I didn't even really dare that.
He is a cornerback.
He's a cornerback.
He's a cornerback from number. Where? That's how bad it's been.
Let me go. Yeah, let me go back to that because I
wears number 40. Wears number 40 for Jacksonville Jaguars. No one has seen or heard of him. I saw him a couple of times in camp. He's okay, but he can never seem to get on the field. And I don't know what your issue is or why you still have uniform. But like he's just that guy that's just on the roster, and I'm happy to be here.
What's his name again?
His name is Brandon Rusnark.
I don't even see him on the Jaguars roster right now.
Brandon Rusnark. Brandon Rusnark. Last name Rusnak.
You sure he ain't just a camp body?
No, he's a three. This will be his third year in the league from Michigan.
Wow.
But yeah.
I got Jared Wilson. That's who I might have said. Okay, from Michigan.
Yeah,
okay.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, Brandon was not. Yeah, that my point exactly of what I mean.
Okay.
Another one. Who probably will be on, if not on the chopping block, chopped, is Jake Luton. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, your time. Your time is ain't no might. It's up. Sorry.
Yeah. He'll be a practice squad guy because he's still going into his second season, so he'll hit the practice squad. I mean, if somebody pick him up, okay, no biggie. But we got to camp.
Exactly.
We got to practice on.
We got Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. Listen, bro.
As well as they brought in what was the guy from the 49ers?
B Hart.
Yeah.
So CJ Beathard. And then my personal favorite, I love this guy. We've been watching him on Netflix. And then I saw him in Texas Tech. And then, we got lucky and picked him up. And I personally think he will do well in that 3-4 system. He played it at Texas Tech. He played it at East Mississippi Community College. But Dakota Allen might be on the chopping block just because that linebacker room is like you alluded to. It's kind of full right now. When you got Joe, Miles, Jacobs, who I think are all viable back. Quinn Williams can go. What's the running back from Carolina?
Is it like linebacker from Carolina?
No. What's the running back's name from Carolina Panthers?
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he took his ankles with him 2 seasons ago, and he probably and he kept him there. But but Dakota Allen, I love this kid. I absolutely adore this kid. He's just a genuine person. Bump the football stuff. He's a great person, but just for some reason he keeps getting overlooked. And so for that reason, he probably will be on the chopping block. And my last name, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, "What?" I don't see him staying with this team for too much longer. Is Lorente McCray?
Yeah, I can see that.
And I love Lorente McCray. He's a great person. I love interviewing him. Like, seriously, I don't like interviewing a lot of people from Florida. Y'all can't. They can't talk. I'm sorry. But he's a genuine good person. But again, that defensive end, that defensive line position, Jaguars kind of stocked that room, and Lorente will be going into his 8th season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might be that time.
And if Dylan Moses can actually become any kind of resemblance of himself, that's automatically a spot, because you're not going to be able to cut a guy with that kind of talent. And he's that Miles Jack type of talent before those injuries. And, if he's able to play, because he can play that inside linebacker too, he gets in there, you're not going to get him out of there. Unless, God forbid, he has another. He's just that type of guy. He's that dude. And now you're talking about having a stud inside linebackers to go on under there, and they're all young. That's the thing I was trying to focus on with a lot of my guys we're not cutting a lot of young guys, but we're cutting a lot of guys who going to cost you not a lot of money, but more money than you, and not get the value for them that you can get out of guys and who's still on their rookie deals. And these guys, with this whole mantra now with Urban Meyer, everybody's in competition. There is nobody who's just walk in and got a job. Some of these young guys who are young and hungry and got nothing, they're going to be hungrier than the guy who's got a house and some stuff and he got a little bit of cash saved up. I think there's going to be on opening day. There's going to be a lot of faces that were here last year that were not here, and it's going to be because they were a significant upgrade, not because they just took body. Because I think these guys, because the way I'm seeing this build like the old Dallas Cowboy build of the early '90s. He scared the bejesus out of guys, and you got guys that just hungry and they're gonna do whatever he tell them to do. How many times he tell them to do it, the way he tell them to do it, and they're gonna take those jobs. So those are who I see, and that was a pretty good list. You got some names that I wasn't even expecting to think about to talk about, along with Mr. Tim Tebow. I just don't see him necessarily making this roster. He's gonna have to do some stuff, because my understanding of this offense, they didn't bring in a move tight end, so to speak, just to have a guy just to catch passes, because they got a guy who can do that. He's not the greatest tight end in the world, but they got a guy who's proven that can play that tight end. That can O'Shaughnessy can play that receiving tight end position. And with this offense, they don't need a dynamic tight end, receiving tight end. And O'Shaughnessy can do the job. They want tight ends that can block. And I'm not sold on Tebow as a blocking tight end. Yes, he ran with power in the NFL, but that's running with power and blocking a 275-pound defensive end. When he coming right at you, that don't mean nothing to me. That you have to show me. And if he makes it, kudos to him. Kudos for the fans, Gator fans, and all the people who are Tebow fans across the country. They'll get another piece of slice of pie that they like to get to see somebody that they love to see play again. It'd be a pretty cool story. A guy who's been out of the league for so long to make it, but I see that as a long shot at best. And, I don't have I'm a Gator fan, so I have nothing but love for Tebow, but I'm a realistic too. I just don't see a 33-year-old man coming in there when this game is moving for younger and with speed coming in and winning that job. And I'm going to take your opinion on that.
I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. Listen, first off, I need everybody to RELAX. Yes, Tim Tebow is going to get a 1-year contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars to the 90-man roster. I need people to understand that first and foremost. That does not mean come September or late August that he'll be running out of the south end zone tunnel. Right now, it just means that he has a contract with the 90-man roster. Now, with that being
I think
said,
both home. I think we got 2 home games in the preseason. I guess they'll both be sold out.
but hear me out. Here's why I'm cool with it. Listen, that tight end room right now consists of James O'Shaughnessy, a rookie, and a nobody. And I hate to be the guy to be like, oh, well, he's not a no. Nah, he nobody. Tyler Davis is the other tight end.
Yeah, they actually picked up somebody that was better than all of them. They got Chris Manhertz, from the Carolina Panthers to be your number 1 blocking tight end. Tyler Davis is your other blocking tight end. Ben Ellison's is a body. He's another 252 guys. But here's the common denominator between Tyler Davis, Ben Ellison, and Luke Farrell. All of them 2 years or less experience in the NFL. The other one is Manhurts, who's going to be your number one blocking tight end. James O'Shaughnessy, who's 7 years, who's going to be your number one receiving tight end in Tebow.
Exactly. And so listen, they brought him in.
Mm-hmm.
If he works, he works. But what if we had a good couple of years here where nothing has worked? I mean, I'm okay with it. Let's give them a chance to fail before we, jump on that. Oh, well, we brought Tebow in, and if it sells a few extra tickets, guess what? Kudos to them.
Yep, I'm all good.
Right, you know what I mean. And so here's the thing about that I do know about Tim Tebow. I've never seen him play tight end. I've never seen him catch a pass in the NFL. However, I know his work ethic in the locker room, the weight room, in the meeting room is unparalleled to almost anyone. And so Tim Tebow is one of those few people, and more importantly, he's one of those few players where if there is something he doesn't know how to do, give him an hour. I promise you he'll know how to do it. And so I can't knock Urban Meyer bringing his guy in, because one thing I've personally found out as a coach, in my time being a coach, that you need that one player. It doesn't matter if you say run dead smack into a group of people shooting, they're going to run dead smack into a group of people shooting. And Tim Tebow is that guy for Urban Meyer. He hasn't found that guy yet because this is his first season coaching in the NFL. So if I got me a guy who I already can trust without a shout of a doubt, there is no clouded judgment in the words that I tell him and the words that he tells me, I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it, because as a coach, you would rather lose your way than win someone else's. And that's what this guy is doing. And I think for a brief amount of time, everybody who thinks they know football in Jacksonville, Florida, calm down, let the guy try.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Listen, and if he doesn't make it, what did we lose?
Nothing. And he's giving us natural exposure.
Come on, people. But yes, listen. But yeah, man, I'm just saying, y'all. If Tim Tebow being in Jacksonville, Florida, at TIAA Bank Field is not a bad thing, right?
No, I agree with you. I think it's a good thing, especially right now. We're talking about the Jaguars. The national media is talking about the Jaguars. No matter what media outlet, what show you got, the Jacksonville Jaguars name is coming. How many years have we say that this time of year the Jaguars name has come up in national media, and it's been something positive? Outside of the Minshew mania that we had, but that was purely in season. This is the most positive news you heard nationally about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, I remember you were telling me about the brand new season ticket sales that have by people who never even been to a Jaguars game that bought season tickets. So there's nothing but good that's come out of the hiring of Urban Meyer, the signing, getting the number one pick, selecting Trevor Lawrence, and now signing Tim Tebow. They've done all brilliant moves, and we haven't been able to say that in a decade about this organization. So kudos to the Jacksonville Jaguars organization for making us talk about you in a positive light. Gets the people here happy, and I think all the stores in the area are really loving it, because all of their apparel sales are going to go up. The restaurants are going to have more people eating at it, because people are going to want to be happy and spend a little buddy money, spend some of that $1,400 that they got from the government. But man, I'll tell you what, this has been such a wonderful show. I hate to end it, but we got stuff to do outside of this sports talk business that we love so much. You got a show to produce here in a few minutes. I got a couple of things I got to take care of. Man. Hey, this is the opening week for the Women's Tackle Football League, and seasoning opening. So we got a slate full of games. So if those few folks out there could really check out some of the teams across the country, we have teams all the way in Oregon, Idaho, Minnesota, Michigan, Florida, North Carolina. Oh my God, all over the country. Connecticut, New York region. I mean, and now in Kansas. So football is out there. Women's tackle football is going. And a big shout out to one of our where we're going to be playing our game in South Dakota, to the South Dakota State University Jackrabbits, playing in their very first appearance in the FCS National Championship. So good luck to them, and I'd like to, I hope to see them win that national championship this weekend. So I'll definitely be tuning in. So, but until next week, my friend, I appreciate you. We'll see you next week. We see everybody, all of our fans. Once again, please like and subscribe to this channel. Also, please hit that. Go ahead and support our sponsors: She-Car, Watch Game Film, Team Sportswear Direct. And once again, the Women's Tackle Football League, along with Laces Out in the Dent Project. And until next week, we'll be right here on this same bat time, on this same bat channel, on the Terry McGriff Show. And y'all be blessed.